My name is Avery, I like books, and unlike most YouTubers out there, I am actually going back to school. So today I have compiled some things that are good to read, like types of things, not really specific things, but I do have some examples that you could take as a specific like book to read on account of these things. So like besides the books that you have to read for school, and besides the books that you have to study for school, I have some books here and types of books that are really good examples of what is good to read during school so that you aren't too engrossed in books, so that you don't study, but then you also have something to fall back on when you're really stressed or when you have some downtime between classes. The first and most easiest thing that I would like to point out would be a good book to read during school is to just reread one of your favorite series or favorite books, like favorite series that are good, your favorite books, anything that you've already read and you just want to read during school so that you have it fell. So that you have something to read is a good thing to read. Like it's easy to read it, you've already read it, you like it already, you aren't spending like a crazy amount of time on it, and it's not something that's brand new and you need to be reading all the time so that you'll not be studying. So yeah, a book or series you've already read and already loved, and something easy like Harry Potter because it's middle grade and most people have already read it. So it's easy to just jump back in, even if you don't want to start from the first one. Start with the second one. Start with the fifth one. Something easy to read. Something nice to read between classes. Something nice to do before, like, being brought back into the reality of school, which, isn't fun. The next category of books that I personally believe are good for reading during the school year are books that are filled with action and adventure. Books that are fast-paced, such as The Young Elise by Marie Lu, or even The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken, or again, a favorite series that you've already read that ties into this one as well. But with these books, you know that they're never boring and never slow-paced, so you can jump into them, get them done quickly, get them done as slow as you want to, but you know that they're going to be a quicker read than something that's dull. Those books seem to fly by during the school year, and they make the school year 10 times more enjoyable than it is. Next kind of books that I want to mention are funny books. Funny books really are good to read during the school year because you don't take them too seriously so that you don't do anything but read them, but also you want to read them, and it's easy to jump into them, again, between classes and during lunch or whenever you want to read, after school, before you study, after you study, all those things, and they really brighten the mood after if you've had a bad day at school, or if you had a long day of school, or if you just don't feel like going into school. Reading a funny book often is able to lighten the mood very easily, very quickly, and I think they're beneficial to read for my mental health at least. I know that funny books during the school year really are a necessity. The next category that I have are books that are written differently, or like books like in verse or in weird ways. So like here, see there's like big font in random places, and there's, again, big font, but let me find, there's pictures, there's whole pages that are just like that. And this book is written in rhyme. Like, the whole thing rhymes. Like, everything. If you just need a stress reliever, go for something like this, something that's written, something quirky. A quirky book is always a good thing to read. A easy thing to read. The next category isn't necessarily a category, but more like it's an author. And this author is extremely easy to read all the time, and their stories are really easy to get into and slip out of, and that, yeah, but John Green. During the school year, just read a John Green book. This leads us into our next-ish category thing, which is a contemporary standalone. Most of the time, these stories are just kind of like each other. Like, I would say that this book is a lot like this book. And whatever, reading a lot of repetitive, not repetitive, but near enough to each other's stories so that they're new enough, but also the same enough for school. I really recommend books like this. So like contemporary standalones, they're normally quick to read, they're normally just as engrossing as you want them to be, and it's not like you have a whole series to jump after the cliffhanger into, you know, like, yeah. Like, I wouldn't recommend reading the Six of Crows duology during the school year because you'd be stuck on those books and wouldn't want to do anything else. But for just, like, jumping out of your head a little bit, contemporary standalones are really good. The next kind of book that I have is also not super a category, more just like a series, but I like to call these trashy books. They aren't trashy because they're smutty or anything, it's just like, you know, you shouldn't, like, this series is, I'm holding the last one in the series, but start from the selection if you want to read this. Most people have read this, but these books are the easiest books to read. It's The Bachelor, well, this one's The Bachelorette, but it's The Bachelor in book form, plus some, like, book elements. Like, books like this are what got me through a lot of my junior high years, because they're just, you read them, and you're like, yeah, it was interesting, it was fun, I read it really quick, but I don't have to pay much attention to it after, because it's no big deal, it's just like a nothing. I don't know what to name this category. Trash books. Read trash books because trash books are fun. The next, like, type of book that I would recommend are, middle grade, like, not horror, but, like, and it's not really suspense, it's, like, ghost stories. Like, middle grade ghost stories. There's this author, Mary Downinghan, whatever. She writes, like, all of her books are middle grade, like, ghost stories and, like, spooky stories. And they're all super short, and, I mean, this one's my favorite because books like this that are able to get into the world enough so that you can understand, but then just have, like, a little bit of mystery and then be super short at the end and have some kind of resolve. I feel like these books are really good and really rewarding by the time you, like, read it, because, like, if there's any plot twists and you figured it out before, that's rewarding. If there's any, like, there's small interesting things that happen in these books, but again, you don't have to devote a lot of time to, you don't have to devote a lot of brain power to, just, they're really easy reads. Like, I would recommend middle grade spookiness. It's really random, but again, that's what got me a lot of the way, like, through, like, junior high school, because we all know how that goes. The next type of book that I have 3 books up here just because I grabbed 3 from my bookshelf. And that's just, like, cheesy contemporary romance. Like, like, this one is holiday themed, which is good, like, right before winter break if you're, just, like, ready for Christmas or ready for whatever holiday you celebrate, but ready for, like, the winter holidays and ready for break. This is good to ease your way into break. Let It Snow by these 3 authors. But again, just cheesy romance, not really a big deal, not much brain power, like 0 brain power necessary. And then, like, these books, they both have, like, decent stories and, like, intrigue and all that jazz. But again, not that much brain power that you have to put into these, and they're interesting enough and not too interesting. I guess that's it for the video. Back to school season. Fun. Yeah, okay. Well, I guess this is bye. My name is Avery. I like books and have fun back to schooling.